I wanted to be a drag queen when I was 7 years old. I just didn't really know. I just, when you look back, you can identify those feelings. But when you're a kid, you're just like, that thing, I want to do that thing. And I guess now I kind of am. It's kind of cool to realize that I'm actually living my childhood dream. Every time I watch Bree Zilla, Queen of the Desert, I still feel that same explosion of joy that I felt when I was like 7 years old. All right, I'm Bree Zilla. I do performance art, drag, burlesque, spoken word, I dance, and I do all those things at once. And I do other kinds of drag that don't fit within a gendered box. So drag queer is one of the labels that I use, I guess, to describe that, because it's part king, part queen, part everything. I started doing burlesque, and then I started doing drag, and then I started combining the two, and the more comfortable I got with expressing myself on stage, the less fucks I gave about what I was supposed to be doing, what I was allowed to do. I've been performing since I was 12. Like, I was doing theatre and dance all through primary school and high school, and then I started uni and studied politics and gender studies, and I stopped performing. I still wasn't feeling satisfied by it. Grew up in like the country a bit, so coming to uni and finding a queer community was fantastic. It also meant I found a drag king community. We'd watch drag king shows every week, and I was like quite a femme sort of person, and I would watch and be like turned on because they were fucking hot, and also jealous because I wanted to do that, but I didn't think I was allowed. And the only place I saw femmes on stage was usually used as props to make the drag king seem more masculine. They'd have like the cute girlfriend on stage. That's where I was first pulled to want to perform drag. In the burlesque community at the time, there's sort of an expectation to be a sort of femme, girly, cutesy sort of self. And I came out and started doing drag as like this hairy, sleazy Ziggy Disco Balls character. And I wasn't putting on an act. I was performing my own masculinity through Ziggy. I mean, I perform under 3 different names. Little Skink is my burlesque name, I guess, and Ziggy Disco Balls is my drag king name. There's sort of this range of like this really like parodying masculinity, but then there's also me actually genuinely performing my masculinity. Yeah, that's essentially what comes out when I do Ziggy. Glitter Fist evolved once I realised I was genderqueer, and it's funny, Facebook and Ziggy are how I realised I was genderqueer, because they tried to shut down my Ziggy Disco Balls profile, as apparently that's not a believable name. And I was really upset, and I realised that I'd sort of been compartmentalising my gender. And pretty soon after that, Glitter Fist emerged, and Glitter Fist is my most personal and fabulous creation. Glitter Fist is the drag queer persona. They're a drag deity, what I express myself most openly through, and they're on a mission to absolve shame, inspire worship, and spread the gospel of pleasure, freedom, and filth. So they're what I'm focusing most on these days. And so I created Glitter Fist Productions, first of all, as a home for my body of work. Getting to the age of 30 and that pressure to have done something with your life, and I had, I'd done my degree, and I was supposed to get the fancy job or do postgrad, and somehow ended up pouring more and more of my energy into burlesque and drag on the side, but feeling like that wasn't a real job. All of a sudden I looked back and I realised that I had a whole bunch of employable skills, but I'd just been writing myself off as a performer. I'm a performer. I was already doing what I was passionate about, and that I didn't need to get the grown-up adult job that I was supposed to get. I also wanted to use all of the skills that I've developed over 20 years performing and create a job, like a business where I can A, do freelance work for other artists, also producing actual productions. I'm producing my first proper productions.
So everything I learnt is in this book and is all going into making Glitterfist the Genesis something even more amazing than I imagined when I started the project.
Glitterfist the Genesis, it's an origin story of how Glitterfist goes from being this formless energy in the ether that doesn't really know who they are or what they want, to being this drag deity that is essentially starting a movement to inspire people to worship themselves, find the divinity within. So that'll be at Midsummer, January 30th to February 3rd at the 86. It's going to be surreal, filthy, fun. I'm really excited about it. Also terrified, but in a good way.